難しいとは？
大抵の場合、儀式が進行するにつれ犠牲者が増えると、彼らは守りを固めるようになる。多くの場合、一ところに固まって動かなくなるのだ。それは我らにとって非常に都合が悪い。
I mean, one option is to put a letter there in the middle of the room and make everyone suspicious, like, of one another using magic, like it... Actually, wait. Why the fuck am I giving them advice on how to do their job, for Pete's sake? That's wrong with me.
それは私たち魔女が群れた人間に劣るということですか？
魔女が人間に劣ることはない。ただ、時代が変わり、人間が毒を持つようになったというべきか。大昔の魔法が信じられていた時代は問題なかったのだが、現代人はあの小憎たらしいバトラがそうであるように、基本的に魔法を否定する。つまり存在自体が反魔法的なのだ。その結果、彼らはいつの間にか体内に魔法を否定する毒素を有するようになった。
つまり人間の数が多ければ多いほど、その反魔法の毒素が強くなって私たち魔女には不利だとおっしゃられるのですか？
彼らの魔法を否定する心の力、すなわち対魔法抵抗力の合計値がそのまま魔法力の分母となるわけだ。
Whoa. Hold on. Are you applying math to magic? Magic math? Is that something you learn as a witch as well? I wonder. I also wonder what the equivalent to EMC squared is in magic interpretation. Magic equals belief times milk squared? The more milk, the better?
わかるか？そなたにはちと難しいか？
ご冗談を。実に簡単にわかります。つまり魔法を信じない人間が多ければ多いほど、そしてその意志が強ければ強いほど、魔法は効果を劇的に助産されるとおっしゃっておられるのですね。なるほど。そのような計算式ならば攻め方を考え直さなければなりません。
Fundamentally, magic possesses a vast power. You can even make a rain of fire fall from the heavens, divide the sea, and reviving a lost life isn't possible either. However, that power is extremely weak against a toxin that rejects it. And that toxin has been piling up in humans since the time they forgot their respect for all things sacred. Until finally, this earth was covered with enough toxin that the miracles of magic could not be displayed. Thus, witches from across the world were chased from their dwellings. They were forced to choose whether to throw away their magic and live as humans, or live in hiding in remote areas where the toxin of humans didn't reach. Throw away their magic and live as humans. In that sense, Rokenjima, with its population of only 10 to 20 humans, was extremely favorable for witches. And even more favorable was the existence of the ghost story about the witch who lived in the Rokenjima forest. Essentially, the fear that a witch might exist permeates the island to a certain extent, weakening the anti-magic toxin from the humans. A small population and a margin of possibility to accept a magical being. In other words, minds that were only weakly anti-magical. Only in the valley where those two converged could a witch live in modern times.
なるほど。つまりその計算式によるならば、魔女が効率よく力を振るうにはいくつかのルールがあることになりますね。一つは演出。人間の仕業とは思えない殺人を演出し、オカルト的な装飾を施して、 彼らに魔女の存在を強くアピールし浸透させることによって彼らは魔女の存在を信じるようになり、その結果反魔法力が減少して魔法力の分母の減少も図られる。なるほど。第一の番の不気味な魔法陣の演出などはこれに当たるわけですか。
So I guess in your own opinion, you are thinking that it was created there just to scare us, to decrease the anti-magic toxin in the humans. I guess that's also a possibility, you know? I mean, it works. It can work for some of these humans.
そうよ、その通り。毎回の第一の番のどぎつい演出はすべてそのためのものなのだ。
Although that feels like too easy an explanation. Like there is a reason for those magic circles. A reason that I still do not get even to these days. I mean, I know what they mean. It's just that it feels like there's so much more to it, and I still don't know what those are really used for. Like what their implications are.
別に決してわらわが残酷なのが好きで面白半分でやっていたわけではないのだぞ。
It's as if they are restricted to only the first Twilight, but I mean, when I say about that first magic circle that we see for the first time, but what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Does it mean anything, or is it just used for the first Twilight? I don't know.
だとしたら先代様、今回のは失敗ですね。殺し方が非常に地味でした。ただのミステリーにしか見えません。ロノウェイに聞いていますが、前回や前々回のように遺体をもっと派手に損壊してファンタジーに見せかけ彼らに恐怖心を植え付けるべきでしたね。
まあそうだな。
Man, it's like I'm watching a student try to outsmart the teacher.
毎回それでは芸がないと思ってな。深く考えるでない。気まぐれだ。
Actually, it really had been her whim. After being told all that by Balor, she couldn't say it out loud anymore. But she had decided her method of killing based only on a whim. No. Would it be better to say that she had half-heartedly let Noby decide? Because she had left the locked room of this game's first Twilight to him. I mean, that is a good point. I mean, all that magical stuff happened in the first Twilight in this game. However, if you are to look at it from a human perspective, the only thing that we can think of is, well, some human did it. Whereas for the other games, the first Twilights, there was a sense of something magical going on with how the bodies were displayed. Either in that grotesque scene in the first Twilight, or with their stomachs slit and the candies poured into it, like in the second game. However, in this game, it totally felt like 100% done by humans. And that is something that happened before Beatrice was told by Balor that she is a monster and Beatrice is being affected by it. It was before she had done the second Twilight and all that. In a quote-unquote gentle way, as such. So, I wonder. But if Beto had gone a cruel idea, then she surely would have explored the limits of that atrocity even worse than the last game.
ローザとマリアの殺し方についても先代様は自重するようにおっしゃられましたが、それも私たち魔女に利する行為ではありませんね。実際彼らは現時点では魔女が実在するなんてこれっぽっちも信じてません。ファンタジーでなく完全にミステリーだと確信しています。
True. For the first Twilight and the second Twilight.
私たち魔女にとって失敗した展開です。 先代様がどういうわけかぬるいやり方を繰り返したせいです。
ああ、そのだな。若いうちの苦労は買ってでもしろと言うではないか。先代からそなたへのこれは試練である。慎んで挑むがよいぞ。
Okay, that was a weak one, Dato. You can at least cackle to your heart's content, like. Dato tried to laugh heartily, but it was obviously a fake laugh trying to cover something up. And the new witch shrugged, sighing.
この段階から演出によって反魔法力を減ずるのは多分手遅れでしょうね。
I mean, I can understand why it is so fun for Beatrice to laugh like that. I mean, whether one does something evil or just for the fun of it, it can feel nice.
となればもう一つの手。人間の分散が良いでしょう。
それが最も効果的であろうぞ。人間の人数が少なければ少ないほど分母の数は減るわけだ。その結果魔法力はてきめんとなる。つまりこの籠城状態をいかに崩して少人数に分散させるかがここからのポイントとなるわけだな。しかし彼らはもはや用心深い。容易には籠城を崩せぬぞ。前々回の金蔵の書斎での籠城、前回の客間での籠城、いずれも手強かった。ましてや今回は老快な大人勢がほとんど残った状態での籠城となっておる。状況はこれまで以上に困難であるぞ。そなたが望むなら特別に助言を与えてやってもよいのだがな。
If the first murder case occurs in a closed circle, the survivors hole up without fail, gathering together to observe each other and ensure their safety. Worrying about how to break that situation apart is probably the domain of murderers and mystery authors. So how ludicrous it is that witches, who are meant to exist at the other end of the spectrum, sharing that exact same worry. I mean, when you put it that way, that's that's quite something. For a while, the new witch poked her cheek with her index finger, making gestures as though deep in thought, and eventually spoke.
いいえ、結構です。試練ですから。先代様の手は借りません。
そうか。しかしだな、籠城を崩すのはなかなかに難しいぞ。
すでに手は打ってあります。きっと引っかかるはずです。頭のいいやつならむしろ必ず。
そうか。そなたは優秀であるな。手のかからぬ弟子でわらわは嬉しいぞ。
私、人に聞く前に自分で勉強するがモットーなので。それでは失礼します。獲物がのこのこと誘い出されるのを待たねばなりませんので。
それではしっかりな。
As the new witch lowered her head, her face blank, she turned into gold butterflies and hid herself. Christ, like what is she gonna do? Is she gonna turn the whole lobby into chocolate? Is she gonna turn the humans into chocolate and kill them that way? I mean, that is quite something. Man, now that I'm thinking of it, I want some sweets now. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna go grab me some chocolate from the fridge. I'll be back in just a second. Dato looked slightly unamused, since she was lonely since she hadn't been relied on at all.
どいつもこいつもわらわのことなど構いもせぬわ。魔女見習いめ、天狗になりよって。今に手痛いミスをして泣き言を言うに違いないぞ。その時こそようやくわらわの偉大さを理解し、教えを請おうとするに違いないのだ。それまでわらわは高みの見物よ。
She laughed loudly on the outside, but a laugh no one can hear is completely pointless. Beto started to feel empty, and quickly stopped laughing. Noby chose that time to show himself.
失礼いたします、お嬢様。バトラ様との第2の番のゲームが終了いたしました。
そうか、ご苦労であった。守備はどうであったか。
申し訳ございません。リザインさせていただきました。バトラ様のローザがマリアを考察、その後に自己死は赤にて両名他殺で切り返したのですが、エヴァを主犯に据えられた一連の指し手を切り返せませんでした。
エヴァは秀吉にずっと看病されて部屋で寝ていたであろうが。
From a magical perspective, maybe, but from a human perspective, she could still be the culprit. That and, well, she had the biggest motive for doing so.
秀吉も共犯で両名でアリバイを作った可能性を提示されました。
That's right, alibi.
秀吉まで疑うか。殺害時には客室にいたと赤にて叩き切ってやればよいではないか。
それも考えましたが、いずれにせよ数手先でいくつかの大駒を奪われてしまうかもしれません。それにこの手が新しきベアトリーチェ様が撃たれた布石の可能性もありますので、それを尊重することといたしました。申し訳ありません。
布石か。
That or you're just screwing with me, and there is no way you can say that in red because it was not true. I mean, you know that I'm also here, right? I'm not that incompetent. No. But maybe what he's saying is true, but alas, I won't know.
あやつ頭が切れるようだからの好きにさせておくがよい。どこまでやれるか見ものだ。
そうおっしゃると思いました。弟子が可愛くないのでご機嫌斜めとお見受けしますよ。
余計なお世話だ。あやつめ、ここからの籠城をどう崩していくつもりなのか。わらわもじっくり拝見させてもらうとするぞ。ああ、それバトラの機嫌の方はどうなのか。
落ち着いておられるように見えました。やはりお嬢様が相手でないと盛り上がらないとおっしゃっておいででしたよ。
そうか、そうであろう、そうであろう。
Well, that surely is a reason enough to celebrate. Want some chocolate, Beto?
第4の番以降はやはりわらわが復帰しないとバトラも寂しかろうな。
それでは私はこれで失礼させていただきます。美味しいクッキーを焼かねばなりません。せめてお嬢様とバトラ様のお話が弾みますように。
あいつお前のクッキーボリボリ食ってたな。やはり男の子だからお腹がすくのであろう。多めに焼いてやれ。
かしこまりました。クッキーでテーブルを埋めてご覧に入れましょう。
Poor table. No. on that matter, I probably should bring a bigger table for that.
それが良いぞ。
なんだよ。どうした？話ってなんだ？
Kirie called Rudolph out into the corridor. It was obvious that she wanted to talk about something that she didn't want the others to hear.
あのね、私、
おう。
表へ出たいの。
確かにわずかばかりの朝食では体が持たないが、しかし
もちろん分かってるさ。だがな、時間を置けばどんどん暗くなってくる。多分今が一番明るい。今が一番都合がいいんだ。
ローザさんたちが襲われてからまだ1時間も経ったかどうかですよ。いくらなんでも不用心です。
It was only natural that Natsuki was yelling about recklessness, because Rudolph had said that he was going to the mansion to get food. Certainly, they were being tormented by hunger as well as their fatigue. Although, something tells me it is more than just food. Rudolph and Kirie sure want something and they have to go outside. In the beginning, they were just fine, because they could fight their moderate hunger with their drowsiness. But now it just made their minds hazy. And even though it was still only midday, their bodies felt like they were reaching their limits. The thought of going to the kitchen in the mansion and bringing back some food certainly was attractive.
私は反対です。多少は辛いでしょうが、断じてここを出るべきではありません。
私たちはいい。だが子供たちにひもじい思いをさせるのは心が痛む。親として責任を負わねばなるまい。
あなた。
I mean, you should be thinking that as well, Natsuki.
お父様が亡くなられた今、後宮家の当主はあなたです。そのような危険を冒すことは許されません。そうね。夏日さんの言う通りよ。クラウスさんはリーダーとしてここに残るべきね。
なら誰が屋敷へ行くんだね。
俺とキリエ、あと秀吉兄さんの3人で行こうと思う。俺と秀吉兄さんは銃を持ってる。そう簡単に向こうも手出しはできないはずだ。
Uh-oh. If I am thinking that Eva and Hideyoshi are responsible for Maria and Rosa's death, could it be that Kirie thought of this too? I mean, the motive is pretty clear in my eyes. And the fact that Hideyoshi has taken the gun himself from the murder scene tells me that it was for that reason it was left there to begin with. Hideyoshi and Eva murdered both Rosa and Maria. They left the gun there. And when, afterwards, when the rest of the adults came to see the murder scene, Hideyoshi took the initiative to take that gun so that he would have it for a future.
ローザさんも銃を持っていましたが襲われました。
I mean, I do believe it is for that reason. For now, I mean, that would be the most likely possibility, but if Kirie thought of this possibility as well, then does she suspect that Eva and Hideyoshi found the gold as well? Or is there a completely different reason that they think that Eva and Hideyoshi did it? I mean, I guess you don't really have to think too much on it. Some of the adults were inside, and the only people they have to concern about outside this lobby are Nanjo, who is also a likely suspect as well. the kids, the cousins, which they probably don't think that they were the murderers, and Eva and Hideyoshi, who not only were they in two, but Eva also had a gun, so she had a chance of fighting Rosa in that aspect, whereas Nanjo didn't have any gun with him and he was by himself. So maybe she's probably thinking that Eva and Hideyoshi are the most likely suspects to have done it. In that case, it isn't just about Eva and Hideyoshi finding the gold. But if that's the case though, like if they want to take Hideyoshi out, like what are they gonna do? Could it be that they want to question him in that case? Huh.
危険ではありませんか？
ローザたちの様子を確かめに出た時、銃を持っていたが、俺は一人だった。だが襲われなかった。男が相手なら、向こうも慎重なのかもしれないぜ。
男性が2人、そしてさらに銃も2丁。2人には護衛役に徹してもらって、荷物は台車で私が運ぶわ。ローザさんの時とは状況が明らかに異なるはずよ。
わしを男と見込んでの話なら喜んで協力させてもらうで。こう見えても屋台を引いて鍛えた体や。力仕事は任せてえな。
男性は護衛役に徹してくれていいの。使用人室に折りたたみ式の台車があったから、それを使えば私一人でも十分に食料が運べるわ。もちろん用心はする。そしてこの冒険を一度だけ成功させれば、もう二度と私たちはここを出る危険を冒す必要はないの。なんとか考え直せませんか？皆さんに空腹を強いるのは心苦しいですが、しかし今の外は何が起こるか分かりませ
ん。用心するで。それにエヴァはだいぶ体調が悪いんや。空腹にはできん。胃袋が空っぽじゃ飲める薬も飲めんわ。エヴァのためにもわしは出かけにはならんのや。
エヴァの具合はどうなんだね。
ようやく寝入ってくれたとこや。
You know, I do have to ask this. Like, this is a bit off topic over here, but you are always used to people telling you that you should take your medicine after eating. And Hideyoshi over here is telling how, well, Eva has an empty stomach, so she can't take her medicine. What is the logic behind that? Like, how much does it affect the medicine if you take it on an empty stomach? Like, what if, for example, you forgot to take your medicine after your dinner, or after eating like midday or at the dinner? Then, are you really obligated to not take the medicine like at all? That day, I don't know. Like, for example, yesterday, I actually forgot to take some of my medicine after eating, and I think it was like a 1 hour, or I think it was 2 hours after I ate, and then I decided, well, might as well take the medicine like right now, even though I haven't eaten in like 1 hour, 2 hours. Like, how much does it affect things? I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me.
熱も高い。しばらくそっとしたってや。
妻の体調があっては座してもいられんか。わかった。外出を許可しよう。
じゃあ俺たちはさっくりと行ってくるぜ。スピード勝負だ。缶詰は OK だよな。缶切りクレーこっちにあるよな。
はい。缶切りと栓抜きはあります。ゲストハウスに水道があるから飲み物は不要よね。10人分もあるんだから好き嫌いは言わせないわ。
よっしゃ、出だって走ってってさっさと持ってこようやないか。傘なんてさせてる暇あらへんで。
じゃあ兄貴、留守番を頼むぜ。
気をつけてな。
Alright, well, have fun. Be mindful of future murders.
本当ならば自分も生きたい。男に生まれながらこのような急場で力を貸せぬ長男の肩書きが恨めしい。
こういう時くらいしか俺らには見せ場がないのさ。たまには譲って兄貴はのんびりしてろい。じゃあな、夏日さん、タオルの準備でもして待っててくれ。傘はささねえから濡れネズミで帰ってくるぜ。
Yeah, like that ever happens on this island anyway.
わかりました。お気をつけて。
Rudolph, Kitty, and Hideyoshi, each leaving their own brave words behind, left the lobby. Compared to the time Rosamari had gone outside, the wind had picked up once again. Rudolph's group of 3 people jogged through the rose garden without umbrellas, holding their guns in a folded cart. If everything had been still and quiet, without the wind and the rain, they would probably have kept their ears open and moved with caution. But in this rain, even if some suspicious person was hiding nearby, it would be difficult to notice them. And because of that, it had been Rudolph's plan to instead dash through the dangerous area. And yet there was a chance that their opponent was equipped with a gun, and walking slowly with their guard up would only make them a target. It was probably correct to decide on swift action.
バラテーや。カモがネギしょってきたと思うとるかもしれんで。
頼むぜ。誰も出てきてくれるなよ。
Even as Rudolph and Hideyoshi continued to run, they looked around restlessly, vigilant of their surroundings. Rosa Maria's death had not been caused by a projectile. However, it was easy to suspect that the servant had been killed in such a manner. Will they come flying out of the dark? Or will they take careful aim and snipe from the shadows? Either way, they couldn't relax their tension for even an instant. Even so, when they reached the overhang in front of the entrance to the mansion and escaped the reach of the raindrops, they felt themselves breathing a sigh of relief.
まずは問題なしやな。ローザさんの時とは違う。うかつに手は出せんやろ。
そう信じたいね。キリエ、俺たちが見張ってる間に鍵を開けてくれ。
ええ、SP が2人もついてお屋敷に帰宅だなんて、実にエグゼクティブな気分よ。
赤絨毯で召使いのお出迎えがあれば完璧や。
お出迎えか。
Okay, let's not. You are to say that, and the next thing you know, once you enter through that door, there's going to be like zombie servants, like in front of you, with a red carpet.
あるかもな。用心しようぜ。
As the two cautiously surveyed their surroundings, Kitty unlocked the front door with the master key she had been given.
開いたわ。
秀吉兄さん、戦闘を頼めるか。俺は背後を警戒するぜ。
了解や。キリさん、わしの影から出ないようにな。ほな、突入するで。
後方了解。援護するぜ。
Roger, Roger. Quick draw. Tactical nuke inbound.
男の人ってやね。この状況をちょっぴり楽しんでるでしょう。
諦めろよ。それが男ってもんだぜ。しかし相変わらずひでえ匂いだな。
The air in the mansion felt stagnant with a heavy silence. And worse, it was still thick with the stench of Kenzo's burnt corpse in the boiler room. And they were struck with a strong desire to leave the mansion, although they were never planning to stay anyway.
前方問題ないで。厨房まで一っ走りや。
とっとと済ませて引き上げよう。スーツが親父の匂いで訓示をされちまうぜ。
The three of them dash towards the kitchen. And after they disappeared from the entrance hall, the new witch showed herself there. Dun dun! Boing! Oh, it sure wasn't difficult at all to have them spared. You didn't even have to do a damn thing.
まんまと誘い出されたわね。
Oh. So you're saying that you had something to do with this? But then how did you convince Kitty and Rudolph to go outside? Unless I'm thinking of something completely different.
私の罠にまんまと引っかかってくれた。
The witch grinned. Thinking about it now, no matter how unbearable their hunger had grown, barely a few hours had passed since Suroza and Maria had been attacked and had lost their lives. In that case, why had they needed to recklessly leave the guest house? Until that question could be dealt with, the only answer was that they had been called out by the witch's magic. Nah, you know what? I think that you're just pretending to act as if this was part of your plan. You're just pretending over here. When in actuality, them leaving the guest house was just you being lucky. What? You're not responding to me because I'm right, aren't I? Why do I feel so heavy all of a sudden? Oh, Gravity. Thou art a heartless bitch.
不用心なやつら。もう生きてこの屋敷からダッシュはしないわ。閉じよ、鍵よ、屋敷よ。
And the instant she proclaimed that, the mansion was sealed off in a separate world. Unless she were to dispel the barrier, no longer could anyone exit this mansion or enter it.
お見事です。無限の魔女を継承してからまだ半日も経たないのに、それほどまでに魔法を使いこなされるとは。その才能に驚きます。まるであなたは生まれながらにしての魔女のようだ。
だって私生まれた時から魔女だもの。あなたは瞬きの仕方を誰かに習うの？私が魔法を使えるのはそういうことよ。
恐ろしいお方だ。
The witch's face twisted with brutality. She was beside herself with excitement at being able to toy with lives again.
さてさて。まずはルドルフとキリエなわけだけど、どんな残酷な殺し方をしてやろうかしら。
失礼ながら先代様より不必要な残酷なる殺害は控えるようご指示を賜っております。そして第4の晩以降は生贄の捧げ方に作法がございます。それには煉獄の7姉妹の力を借りねばなりません。
あら、そうだったの？そういえばそうだったわね。好き勝手に遊べるのはさっきの第2の晩までなのね。つまんないわ。またローザの時みたいに思い切り遊べると思ったのに。
If you are that desperate, I'm sure that there is some cake in the kitchen that you can throw at them yourself. If you were to ask me, that would be a huge waste of a cake.